As a new member of IPAL Institute team, I want
Welcome, Stefana.
thank you, Matjaž. I'm so thrilled with this opportunity. And I'm especially looking forward to learning from you and growing alongside the IPAL, and as well as growing together with the team, of course. So, as we talked earlier, we'll be recording our conversations about the IPAL program and the IPAL method itself. And today we are going to talk about the summer school, which is going to be in Slovenia. So, would you tell us something more about that?
Well, first of all, hello to everybody. And I'm very glad I don't have to do this video alone, so that we have Stefana now with us. And as a Libra sun, as Stevie Wonder would say, Libra sun, no July and Libra sun is I'm really glad I can have somebody to talk to. So the summer school, really, the IPAL summer school has been going on for quite some years. There were breaks in between, but it was like they were taking place during the last 20 years, always in July, and it's a residential summer school. The fact that it is a residential summer school makes it somewhat specific. And above all, it makes much more interaction with each other on one hand, and on the other, with one's inner process, facilitating one's inner process of working oneself on that and accruing some knowledge about oneself in the process, which is really the goal of any working on oneself, so that we can actually enhance our quality of life and facilitate the attainment of our goals in life.
This summer school offers opportunity to meet in person and to work together within Slovenia's natural environment. So,
Yeah.
how does nature actively support our in-depth work with the IPAL method? How much the environment is important in the process?
Well, I think there are two or three factors that I would like to distinguish among. The first one is actually staying for a few days in a location that is not your or mine normal environment, but is an environment specially designed in order to better be able and easier be able to work on ourselves and to come in touch with our inner selves and the images that we want to work with. The second factor is really the nature, because there is something about the nature that nobody can explain. And I think there is something that connects to the ancient human history, because we come out of nature. We emancipated out of nature, yet when we are in nature, there is an effect of being connected not only to nature, but to our inner self. So there is a correlation of staying in nature on one hand, and on the other, to be better able to connect with oneself and with the others of other participants of the international summer school. The third factor is really the community factor, because when we stay together in a group setting, there will be also the dream matrix in the morning, which is the telling of the dreams and seeing what the dream narrate, what do they tell us about our own selves being there, and also other accompanying activities like walks, talks, cooking and eating together, things like that. They bring this community element. So this is the third element. So all three elements stay in another environment and sleep there, live there. Then the natural environment, and then the community element. They bring together some special experience that is going to be in the summer school.
So the group is going to be small, right?
The group is going to be relatively small. I will not take more than 10 to 12 people because of the nature of the work, as you know, and that is because the IPAL method really works on a series of techniques. The first being active imagination or dream analysis, this being the entry into working on oneself in depth. And then this is followed by the analysis of these images, both historically in terms of your hitherto life and the present situation. And once this has been analyzed, we can work with symbolic cosmology, i.e. with our own cosmological charts, cosmograms, or which are also called horoscopes in traditional astrology, but we don't use them in a traditional astrological way, but rather as a pointer for the archetypal analysis of our own material that we bring to the summer school. In the end, there is also this grounding material, which is in drawing images that we produce and also make them out, materialize them with our own hands into figures of plastic material that represent our individuation process, really. That element of the IPAL method is really important, that we can learn from each other in a group setting, in a workshop setting, in a process that is at least 5 days, so we can get some thread running through, and the way we are connected to each other, and we realize we are connected to each other during this 5-day workshop.
So in Europe,
sorry. It's not like, so it's not like this is not a conference, right? Like a summer school, like a conference having many lectures, but it's really working on yourself in depth with a combination of techniques, and there is a continuation of work of every day into another day in an enclosed, this year, international group of practitioners, really, of the method.
Shall we say something about the symptoms, the alchemy of symptoms?
Yes, I usually work with symptoms in the summer school, and I see symptoms because they are so useful. They offer us such a useful and practical entry into our own being, because what a symptom does, even a minor symptom like headache or itchiness or some pains in the back that happen at certain points, etc., they are symbolizations that do not come from the ego and its cogito, but they rather come from another level of us, which is the self. So they come, or they may even come, you may even like to say they come from God. They come there to warn you, to guide you, to redirect your attention and awareness. So in working with symptoms, we can actually contact our authentic selves, and symptoms can be used as authenticators where we don't feel, in the areas of ourselves and our lives where we don't feel authentic, we don't feel sure that we are authentic. We are looking for something solid and authentic in us. And symptoms, they appear on our bodies. This is what we usually think about symptoms, but it's only one level of symptoms. This is the bodily symptoms. But we also have psychic symptoms, which are some emotional symptoms like anxiety, fears, different kind of premonitions that are not comprehensible, but we feel sometimes there are emotional states that pester us sometimes, and there are symptoms, especially the repeating feelings of fear, anxiety, depression. And then we have spiritual symptoms. Spiritual symptoms are connected with the loss of meaning, a loss of heart. We no longer trust. We feel we have doubts. We lose connection with ourselves. And then we have the thinking symptoms. This is the fourth category of symptoms, which is, for example, for instance, some compulsive thoughts. Compulsive thoughts are thinking symptoms. These are thoughts that for no apparent reason appear in our lives, and we think about some things that worry us, and we don't know how to solve them. Yet, usually there is nothing to do with them thinkingly, but rather trying to find an expression of how to give them form in our everyday lives with the other three levels, especially the bodily level. What we do with our bodies is many times very helpful in order to alleviate some other symptoms like thinking symptoms or spiritual symptoms or psychic symptoms.
How does the schedule look like?
The daily schedule is based on three parts of the program. First is the morning part. The morning part, we gather in a room inside the center, where we're going to work in what is known as the dream matrix. In the dream matrix, we are going to be telling the dreams that we have, the dreams that we experience, and we are going to explore these threads of dreams that appear to be told in a dream matrix, i.e., in the actual setting of people sitting in that morning gathering. Now, what is important when working in a dream matrix is to simulate an experience that probably was present since millennia of man's existence. Even a prehistoric man would probably sit in the morning on a rock or somewhere, and they were telling dreams to each other and trying to find meaning out of these threads. This is not a psychoanalytic meeting. It is more like a meeting to see what ideas come out of the dreams that are being told at a particular morning. And in order to monitor during these 5 days how the group is progressing and what is it working on on the level of the group. Now, after the dream matrix, then there will be this central morning working. If weather permitting, we will be working outside, under the trees, on the grass, maybe having some mattresses under the trees in a circle, and we are going to work on our symptoms. So we're going to work like from 9 to 1. And then there will be a longer break during which the participants can make their own food or go somewhere for lunch. And then we will work late afternoon, early evening, the second part of the day, just continuing with our workshop on our working on ourselves in depth with the IPAL method. So this recommended to the participants always. I always recommend to the participants to take a walk after the evening workshop, not to socialize immediately, just to reflect on the material. Actually, the place where we are staying is quite nice to walk. It has pastures, it has forests, there are even horses, donkeys, and other animals that you can meet when you walk. So there are ways to be alone in that area or to socialize, depends on how one feels. Last year we even did, the guys and one of the ladies, 3 guys and one of the ladies, we did a morning gym group before the dream matrix. So we gathered on a terrace and we did a little bit of movement there, simulated some martial arts classes, just a little bit, just in order to greet the sun rising.
Wow, it sounds amazing, really.
Well, you'll see it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Mhm.
Uh,
So there are some people from the IPAL, International IPAL seminars who would like to come. There is some local people as well from Slovenia. And of course, all others are invited if you have a keen interest in learning and experiencing, working on yourself in depth with the IPAL method and see how it works for you. Whether you are an astrologer or no astrologer, whether you are a psychoanalyst or have no experience with psychoanalysis or psychotherapy, whether you like dreams or not, or whether you have experience with active imagination or not, it doesn't matter. There is only one thing that matters. It's the wish to do something on yourself and thus enhance your quality of life and maybe solve any psychological problems and find practical solutions in order to improve really your life and facilitate the attainment of life goals that you already have set for your life, or even life goals that you would like to set with the help of working on oneself with the IPAL method in a group setting.